every time I come back here, I really enjoy it because it's like my roots in it, and it's one of those like if I can put a smile on the kid's face, then it's like a job done really. I love coming back here, it's like reminiscing. Like I remember coming here every day, and this is where my football kind of started in the playground. So.
I mean, you were very much involved in sport here. I remember doing a piece on you probably about 10 years ago now at a Tag Rugby Finals event. Has sport always been a massive part of your life in terms of not just like in school but outside of school as well?
100%. Like without sport, I probably couldn't function. I love sport in general. I love my table tennis, love my golf, love my football. I'm really invested in sport. I love watching it. Like I say, sport is literally in my life. You know what I mean? It's what motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing. And like I say, I've loved it since being a little kid. So.
Yeah. And speaking of loving it, you must have loved it in front of 67,000 at Old Trafford in that FA Youth Cup final. You guided your side to a 3-1 win and scored the opening goal. Dream come true.
No, it definitely is a dream come true. It's one of those, like I've dreamt about that since being a little lad, and it's one of those things like to walk out in front of 76,000 people at Old Trafford is just the proudest moment of my career so far. But obviously gives me a taste of if I keep working hard and keep grounded, then hopefully that's what's come in the future.
What is your future ambition then? As a player now, you've signed a 2-year contract with arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world. What is your plan?
To be honest, it's one of those things where, like I said before, I've just got to keep working hard and see where it takes me really. And I want to play at the highest level possible. And I want to go on to have a good career, a long career. Because like I say, I just love playing football, and it's what I've always wanted to do is become a professional footballer. And I've kind of just maybe got past the first step, and I've got to keep on going, keep climbing the ladder, and like I say, see where it takes me.
How much sacrifice do you have to go through to reach these levels, do you think, to become a professional footballer? I mean, you're 18 now, but, a few years ago, that as a teenager, that's when you're going out, making friends, maybe going outside and drinking or whatever, not promoting that or encouraging it, but you have to make sacrifice, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. You get to the point where, you realise football's a lifestyle. You've got to either go and do what you want to do outside of football, or, you've got 100% commit yourself to the lifestyle of being a professional footballer, of being a footballer when you're young. I think it was an easy decision for me because obviously I've always known what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to play football as a living. It's the best job in the world in my opinion. So obviously from being young I've had to sacrifice a lot, but I think I've always been told that it'll be worth it, and and I'd reap the rewards in the future. And obviously, like I say, I just keep working hard, and it's one of those, like I don't really see it as a sacrifice anymore because I've got past that stage as like a young kid where you might want to go out or whatever, but now I think I have sacrificed a lot, but I'm doing something that I love and I do it every day.
Yeah, it's almost like a privilege.
100%, it's a privilege. I think it's one of those things where, like I say, when I was younger I probably saw it as a sacrifice, but it was all for the right reasons. And now I thank all my family and all like my coaches, all those sort of people, because without them I wouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? And they helped me make those sacrifices, and they sacrifice a lot themselves. So I'm also doing it for them, not as much just myself. So
yeah, absolutely. Everyone knows about the first team's troubles this season, but you and your teammates winning that FA Youth Cup final, it's given the supporters light at the end of the tunnel almost. They've got something to believe in now. You're kind of regarded as heroes. That must be a great feeling.
Yeah, like obviously the first team is what I aspire to get to. At the end of the day, there's some unbelievable players in that first team, and I don't think any of those players can be disregarded because they're top professionals and top players. And like I said, it'd be a dream come true also to make a debut or play for Manchester United. But I think it's one of those, like with the FA Youth Cup win, there's been a lot of unbelievable players who have won the FA Youth Cup and gone on to have good careers. So I think it's not pressure to go and have an amazing career, but I think it's one of those you want to follow in the footsteps of some of the players who did win it, like back in 2011, Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard. You know that'd be unbelievable to even have half the career that they did.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about role models and top class players. Cristiano Ronaldo returned last summer. He's a top class professional. Is he someone you look up to in terms of a professional footballer?
He's always been my idol since 3 or 4 year old, and knowing about football, Ronaldo's always been my idol. He's just on and off the pitch. He is, for me, the best role model that you can have. His recovery, his eating, his training, always doing extras, and I think he's someone that you can only look up to and just see what he's achieved in his career. But he didn't do it easily. He's worked so hard since being a young lad, and like I say, it's one of those things where it's never going to be easy to go and have a career as good as his, but if you can do, like I say, half the things that he's done, then you could go on to have a good career in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And just finally, as a player, you've got to balance your work rate on the pitch with, say, your education off it when you're a youngster. For the youngsters watching this video, can you give them a bit of advice?
Yeah, I think life is about having a balance. It's like a happy medium, so you can't be too focused on one thing. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, basically. You have got to balance it with your sports or whatever you do extracurricular with your education, because obviously education is so important, and you don't know where education might take you. So I'd just say focus on your education as much as you would your sports or whatever you do outside of school.